Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today's a bit of a different video. I know I usually post gaming videos, but I also really love movies. I like to talk about movies, as people around me will tell you. Sometimes movies are all I can talk about. I've always liked watching movies and talking about them, and I've never really analysed a movie, so I'm definitely not a professional. But seeing as though it is coming up to Halloween, I thought that I would come on here and maybe go through a few of my favourite movies to watch around this time in a new series called In My Personal Opinion. Every year I usually watch the same trilogy, and that is the Fear Street trilogy. Now, I may be a little bit biased about this because I just love lesbian romances. I think that the Fear Street trilogy has an amazing lesbian romance, and that is probably why it makes me a little bit biased. But I also think the movies are just incredible. The storyline, the plot is all there. You won't be bored with these movies. I just think the story is fantastic. I also think the story is just super unique. Having a lesbian romance in a horror film is also not done very often, and I think it just talks to a certain group of people, and I think it makes people feel seen when they see themselves being portrayed in these movies. I also just want to point out the fact that these movies are super gory. In my opinion, especially the first one, I think this one has some crazy deaths involved. When you have a horror movie, I feel like you need gore, and these movies definitely have that. I remember watching this film with my girlfriend, and she had to like close her eyes for certain bits because it was too much. But I think that's a good thing for a horror movie. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I personally feel like these movies are best watched together. You maybe could watch them alone, like you could watch one and not the other two, but I really think that to get the full experience, you need to watch all the movies in a close amount of time so you don't forget key moments. And personally, I think these movies are super rewatchable. I've watched them so many times, and each time I figure something else out, something new that I didn't know before. And then that just makes the next time that I watch it so much better because I'm watching it with more information. I know more about what's going on. I think you can follow it pretty well if you only watch it once, definitely. I think that would be no problem. But personally for me, I just think if you watch them more than once, you get more and more each time. Another thing I want to say about these movies is that the main characters are super likable, like you are really rooting for them. I don't particularly dislike any of the quote good characters in this movie. I think they're all really, really likable and you really want to see them succeed. There's a bit of everything in this movie. I don't think you can go wrong with it. There's romance, there's gore, there's horror. It's just an overall good movie. Well, when I say movie, I mean movies because there is three of them. But I just like to think of them as one long movie because I watch them all at once anyway. Okay, the next movie I want to talk about is a movie called Alien. This movie was made in 1979, so it's quite an old movie now, but I still think it holds up really well to this day. I think it's an incredible movie. This is kind of a futuristic sci-fi horror, and when I say futuristic, I mean not really futuristic because it was made in the 70s, so everything still seems really old. But it's all this like new tech that they thought would be new tech in the 70s, but obviously tech is very different now. I'd say with this movie, it takes quite a while to get into it. I think it's quite a slow paced movie, but once you get into maybe the last 50 minutes or so, you really just don't want to leave your seat. You just want to keep watching it. When I watched this movie for the first time, I was glued to my seat. My focus was fully on the TV and there was no getting out of it. I was locked in. The plot of this movie is pretty simple. It's just a crew on a spaceship and they go out to investigate this planet that they've come across, this place that they've come across, and an alien life form gets into the ship and it basically just grows and they're trying to track it down to send it away. So it's quite simple, but it's done so well. The music and the sound effects perfectly complement everything that's going on. And for the time, the special effects are really good. Overall, this movie will just keep you on your feet. It'll keep you guessing. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's just a perfect movie to watch on Halloween. It's definitely something I would recommend to people, as I am doing now. The third and final movie that I want to talk about is Scream. And I'm specifically talking about the first Scream. I think all the ones after that just aren't as good. Now, Scream isn't a complex movie. It follows the basic formula of what you need in a horror film, but it just does it so well. I mean, there's a reason it's considered a classic horror film. I mean, Scream is just an iconic horror film. And yes, there are probably better horror movies than Scream. For example, earlier we talked about Alien. I think Alien is probably a better movie overall. But for the Halloween season, it just feels right to watch Scream. I don't know if this makes any sense, but there are films that just in certain seasons just feel better. It probably makes no sense, but Scream is one of them films for me. You just have to watch it in October. It's like when you watch a Christmas movie to get in the Christmas spirit. This movie just gets you in the Halloween spirit. I remember watching Scream for the first time, and straight after I watched the second, third and fourth all in the same night because of how much I loved the first one. And I was disappointed because the ones after just don't stand up to the first one, in my opinion. I also just want to mention that the opening scene to this film is one of my favourite opening scenes in any film. I mean, Drew Barrymore does such a good job of playing that role of the character who does everything wrong. You know, like the dumb high schooler that they have in every horror movie where they are just so stupid and do all the wrong things that, spoiler alert, leads to them getting killed. Everything about this movie is great to me. I mean, all the movies that I've put on this list are great films, in my opinion, but you could think something completely different. And I have a lot of movies to watch when it comes to horror, so there's definitely more movies that I need to see before I can make like a full video about what are the best horror movies to watch. Right now, these are my top picks. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of a new kind of video for me, so I've got a lot to learn when it comes to commentary videos. So if there's any advice, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's another video coming tomorrow as I didn't upload earlier in the week, and it's Halloween, so stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you later.